All right, guys. So so today the game plan is we're going to go over that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over some commands from previous classes. And then we're going to do few projects.
Okay. I'm going to use my second laptop to join. So I'll use this one to do my.
Yes. So we're going to do few demos. And one of the demo, okay, let me accept you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the demo we're going to do we're going to do that. We're going to install Apache. And then the other demo that we'll do is we're going to set up a project, one of the one common projects that many people do. We're going to do that LAMP stack. So these are the two projects we're going to do. And after these two projects, there are projects on the classroom. I have like an assignment to the classroom that you guys can go over. I showed you guys the last time, but I can pull it up again. You have to mute one of your stuff.
Yes, I've done that. So let me read this one.
Okay. Yeah, so from after this, there's this assignment. I already showed you guys the last time. So after this class today, because today will be actually the last day for this Linux. Next on Sunday when we meet, we are going to start with something different. So today we are going to try to power through and finish this Linux today. But this will be the homework, the assignment for you guys. If you go through all this and you finish everything, by the time you finish this, you should be able to, like the basic of Linux should not be a problem for you now. Again, this is not saying that um, this is gonna make you like a pro. This is a beginner, but when you finish this project, the one we are going to do today, and then the other project that we will be doing, these two projects that we are going to do, and then if when we finish this, and then you also go through the other projects in the classroom, you should be okay with Linux. Okay, so that's the game plan for today. So first, I have this classroom. We're going to use the classroom. This. Let me see if I can. Let me divide my screen. So again, you have this material is on in the classroom. Messi, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this material is on the classroom, basic Linux commands for day-to-day. So basically the day-to-day use of Linux. So these are the commands that you're going to be used most of the times. They are advanced commands. If you go all the way down, you can see other commands. If you go all the way, if you just search here, so for example, daily life Linux command, you have how to build your own commands in Linux. So these are all things that you can explore. And then you can search for things in here. Again, this Geek for Geeks, it's a really good site. I already explained this to you. So you can search for anything here, like file management. So we'll also look at file management today and how to create users and all those kind of things. So for that one, we can, let me see here. Yeah, so we're just going to go over a series of commands. I'm going to bring this other thing here. I didn't want you to take over. Okay, so we'll also go over this. These are called options. So we'll go over these options just so that you can see what they are. But first, we're going to go over some of these ones. So this first command is pwd. So pwd, like it says here, a print working directory. Present. So some people, you call it print working directory. Some people will say present working directory. So it's just tell you if you want to know like where you are, which part of the file, which part of the structure you are, then you do pwd. So you can type pwd and all lowercase. So you see pwd is telling me, let me enlarge this a little bit. Is that's okay, right?
Yes.
Okay. So pwd, when I did the pwd command, this one, this is the output. So it tells me I'm in my home directory and then and this user. I log in at this user. So when you do the pwd, so it tells you your current directory, the directory that I am on right now. So if you do the same thing, you should see that okay, where you are in the system. So we'll talk about this file hierarchy. So you have the // which is the home, and then inside that home, I have DTEC. So that's what the pwd really stands for. The command shows your current directory path in the terminal. So the path, this is called path, PATH. So they tell you which path are you on. This is how you can tell. If you want to know, if you still don't know who is logging in, you want to know who logs in, you can say, who am I? You can ask the question, WHO. So if you say WHO, it's just going to show, it's not going to print anything because it's telling you it's you. Yeah. So the other command is ls. So ls, there are different options. So if you look at this option here, if you look here, this ls command, okay, so this is when you use it with sudo. Yeah. So ls, if we type ls, the other thing I would advise you guys is to try to type the command. Sometimes the commands are going to be long, so it's okay to copy and paste, but try mostly to type them because again, I explained this the last time. There's a correlation between you typing and then you remembering the information. Okay, so if we type ls, just ls, it just tells us I have a file called project. I have a folder called project. So I can CD into that project. So when I say ls, but if I do ls, if I do my out again, you don't need to type the command all the time. So because I've typed that ls, I can just do my up arrow key on my computer, on my keyboard. It will take me to ls again. So let's say I want to do ls dash la. So again, it gives the explanation here. So it said the ls command and list all files and directory in your current directory. So because we are in this current directory, this home directory, my home directory, so when I run the ls command, it tells me I have a directory called project. Now, if we do ls-a-la, it gives you all, you can use various options to customize the options, such as -L for detailed view and -A to include hidden files. So you see, when we do the -LA, it gives you a lot. It gives us a lot of things, and even the hidden files. When we just do ls, it only gave us the directory that we have here. You see that, right?
Yes.
But when we do ls-al, LA, it gives us like it gives us a lot of information. So these are hidden files, like this one, the dot. Any file that you see has a dot, it's a hidden file. So these ones, so again, we talk about this permission. So while we're looking at this, we talk about this the last time. So when you see the D, it means this is a directory.
Directory.
Yes. So if, in fact, this project that you are seeing here, when we did this ls earlier, it told us we have project. So, and again, that project is, so here is profile. The project is right here, right? So this project that I told us here, when we do the ls, it only shows us this. When we do the ls-la, it shows us the project. So you see the project, it's telling you that it has a D here, which means it's a directory. But if you look at it, I'm the user DTech. DTech has a read permission, DTech has a write permission, and DTech has an execute permission. Basically, what that means, I have full permission here, right? So this will be 777. This is a full permission. This will be 7 for me, for just me, the user, me, DTech. This is 7. And then groups, the group has read permission, but they don't have write permission, but they have execute permission. So you see here, instead of it should be, if this would have been, let's see, if this would have been a full permission, what would this look like?
So it will have been
one.
The highlighted one, there will have been a W between the R and the X.
Yes, exactly. So that will be 7 also.
Yes.
But right now, as it is not. All right. So we don't have the write permission. So just keep note of that. So this middle one is a group. The first one is a user, and then you come to the last one, which is also, it's also similar to this last one is others. So anybody else who inherits this permission, you can read, but you cannot write, but you can execute. Execute means you'll be able to run a command that is executable. So that's what's, you see here. So I'm the only person that have full privilege, full stuff. Now, if we go back to this option, so for example, there's an option, there's an option for so this option is just for the version. Let's focus on this for now. So this is it. And then you look at here, it tells you that who owns that file. So DTech, and then it said this particular one is a root. right? So it said all the other ones say detect, detect, detect. So you see that detect, and then it tells you. So I explained this the last time, you know. So the group is the detect, and then the time of the date and time when this each file was created or modified. And they will tell you the size of the file. So you see the size of this one. So like this project is 512, you know. Okay, so the next command is cd. So cd, so there's another, there should be other, there's another option. So like this one is called a flag, this -al. So you call them a flag, but you also call them options. So you have the several options that you can use with ls. ls has several options that you can use. So for example, if we do ls again, let's just clear. So to clear, you can just type clear. So if we go back to that ls, we'll remove that ls-all. So you see, it gives you the same thing also that so you can either do the LA or ALL. So it gives you, if you say all, it's giving you everything, all of the files inside there. So you say total, I have 12. You know, so let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you see, it say I have 12 here. I even have more than 12 here. But yeah, so just this one, the AL will give you all it gives you all everything that is in that particular directory that you are on. Okay, so let me clear. And then the next one is CD. CD is just change directory. So if you want to change the directory where we are right now, so right now we are just detect, you know, so let's say if you do ls again, we have projects here. So if you want to go inside project, if you want to change, you want to do something, but you don't want to do it. If you do anything in here, it's not going to be inside project. So let's say, for example, if we create a file, let's create another directory. So to create a directory, say mkdir, and then let's call it, let's say demo, or demos, let's say that. So that is a directory. So we've created a directory. So if we do ls again, now we'll have two. We'll have demos and then we'll have project. So to create a directory, this is a command. You have to say mkdir. So make directory. Dir is directory. Mk is make. Make a directory. So mkdir, and then you name the directory. You give a name. So you can say test. So if we say, again, we'll do our command again, and then we say test. So again, if we do the ls again, you see that we have three directory here. We have test, we have demo, we have project and test.
Test.
Right? So let's say we want to go inside project. That's when we use the cd command. So it says here, so you type the cd and then space, and then you put the path of the file or the name of the directory that you want to go inside. So that's why I say here cd and then /path to directory. So the path to the directory. So that just means that you already know that you have a directory called project. So you just type project. So if you start to type project and then you hit your tab key, I don't know, Messi, for you on Mac, but if you hit the tab key on Windows, it finished to write it off for you. So for example, if I remove that again, if I say CD, D, E, and then I hit tab, complete it for you. So you don't have to think about all the, sometimes it can be long. The thing you have to remember though, if you have other directories that start with DEM, then you have to go further, right? Right now it's showing us because there is no other directory called that starts with a D or that has DE. That's why it gave us this. So I want to go inside project, so P, and then I hit enter. So right now you see we have changed directory. So before it was just saying this, but now It's not only saying the DTech at DTech, it's saying DTech. So I'm inside DTech and then I'm inside my project. If we want to see where we are, if we do pwd again, so now you see we're inside our home directory, and then we are the user DTech, and then we are inside the directory project. So now we can do anything inside this project. If we say cat, let's see what is inside project. So let's say ls from this project. So inside this project, we have a file called demo. So if we want to see the content of that file, we say cat, and then you start to type demo. So you see, this is what is inside that demo. This file is a test file just to demonstrate your skill. I just created this just for the demo. So this is what is inside there. Now, if you want to see how we're going to come to this, but if you say sudo vi, and then you say demo, and then it's asking me for password. So I'm going to put my password. So remember, whenever you put your password, it's not going to show you your password. So this is the content of that demo. This is what is inside that demo. That's why when I did the cat command will print out, will show you, it will display the content of the file. But first you have to have something inside that content. So for example, remember I talked about this VI a little bit. So inside this VI, I'm going ahead right now. But inside this VI, this is where you can write. This is it's a text editor. We'll call it a text editor, just like you have this. Just like you have this, just like I show you this one. This is a notepad, just like this notepad. The VI is also a text editor for Linux. It's a link. So you have VI, you have Nano, you have, so VI is like Vim. So you have another called Nano. I like using this VI. So if you want to edit this file, the first thing when you are inside the file like this, so like right now, this file, you cannot edit this file. Even if you type anything, it's not going to stay, right? So if you want to edit this file, so you do I. So I'm going to do escape. I'm not going to save it because I want that content to be there. So I'm just going to say, and then Q. Let me remove this thing from mine. Okay, so I'm going to do escape again. I'm going to say Q. Again, so let's say again, let's cut. So this is the content of demo. If we want to go inside that and try to edit that, so that's what we do, right? Now, the way this to edit, to add something to this file, you have to press I on your keyboard. So you press I, which is insert. So you see it says on the bottom here, it says insert. So if you don't see this insert, which means anything you type, it's not going to stay because it's not editable. Okay. And then, so once you are you see insert here, now you can type in commands. You can, let's say, you can say, for today's class, we You can type in anything. We'll be doing some demos on LAMP stack. What was didn't I even? Yeah, LAMP stack. And what was the other one I said? And Apache Maven. Amazon Linux, Linux 2. So now we have added. So now so this is called write. So remember that when I was explaining earlier that the write commands, right?
Yeah.
So this is because I have full permission. That's why I'm able to write this file. That's why I'm able to edit this file. So when I show you earlier, I have RWX, right?
Yeah.
I have RWX. So the RWX, which means I can read any file and I can write. So the write just means this is what I'm doing right now. I'm performing the write permission. Write means you can edit the file, you can make changes to the file, and then execute means you can run that file. So right now, once you type in or you make changes to it, this is really important when we dive into DevOps, because there are times I'll be telling you, hey, go make changes to the configuration file. And the configuration file, when you open it, this is how it's going to look like. You see a bunch of things in here. And the first thing when you open it, once you open it, just do I. Put it in insert mode. Insert means like you are ready to, you want to edit the file. If you don't want to edit the file, if you just want to examine, take a look at the file, then you don't do insert, just look through and then scroll through. And when you are saving, don't say WQI, the WQ exclamation. You can just say column Q and then exclamation, which means it's gonna quit, but it's not gonna save whatever you did. So right now, as it is, after I've edited this file, I've put in another new line. Now I want to save this file. If you close your terminal right now, this is not gonna be there because you did not save it. Just like if you are writing on a Word document, if you don't save the information that you are writing on a Word document, it's not gonna stay. Let me make sure someone is not here. Okay. Yeah. So to save this file, the first that you do, you click on escape. So when you click escape, you see the terminal changes, the insert went away. Now, if I do I again, the insert came back. If I do escape, the thing changes. So which means if you write anything now, it's not going to be there because you are not in the insert mode. Basically, you are just like in the read mode, read only mode. So this is what the R stand for read. So read means I can read this file, I can even copy it, I can do those things. But if I want to edit this file, I have to go insert and then I type whatever I want to type. Once I'm done, to save it, to get outside of it. So escape is not saving the file, you are just getting outside of that write mode. So when I do that, you see the insert went away. Now, if I want to save this file, you have to do Shift. On your keyboard, you hold on Shift and then you hold on column. So Shift column, and then you see the column appear there on the bottom, the two dots, and then once you see that two dots, you say W, Q, and then exclamation. So on my keyboard, I hold Shift and then the key next after R, after L, so Shift column. So column is the two dots, like you have question mark, but then you have put another question mark next to it. That's column. So you got to do that. You got to hold on Shift first. If you don't hold on Shift, it's not going to work. So you have to hold on Shift and then you click on the column. Once you have this column, now you can type W, which means write, and then Q, which means quit, and then exclamation, which means it's going to save it. Once you type that, hit enter. And then it's going to take you back to the terminal like that.
Okay. So meaning you have to remove the insert first before you go ahead and do this.
Yes. So again, the first thing is, let me go back to the file. So again, whenever you are running this, make sure you are using sudo in front. Okay. So when you have to say sudo vi and then the name of the file. Now, you don't have to do this if you are already a root user, right? If you are a root user, then you don't have to run this sudo in front of it. But just make sure sometimes if you don't have the sudo, then it's going to start giving you error. So let's try that. Let's see. So I'm going to remove the sudo. And then I say vi. So you see, it's allowing me to open the file. So once I open the file, I don't want to do anything to this file. I don't want to write. But if I want to write this file, I can hit I inside. And then I type in something. And then once I'm done, I click on escape first. So the first thing is click insert if you want to edit the file, if you want to write. Once you finish writing, the second thing is click escape. Escape take you back to the command, the read only mode. Yes. Once you're there, you click on shift and then colon.
Okay.
Shift colon. Because I've already saved this file, I'm not gonna do W again. I'll just say Q and then exclamation. So for the exclamation, you have to hold shift and then the number one. Maybe it might be different for your computer, but for my keyboard it's shift. I hold on shift and then I click on number one. That gives me that exclamation. And then I hit enter like that.
Take you back to the main menu.
Yes, to the main terminal. So the sudo works. This works because I have full permission. So remember when I did it, so if we do ls-al, right? So you see, detect, so I have full permission. That's why when I did the vi without the sudo, it allows me. If you don't have full permission, it will throw you an error. You will not be able to save that file. You can go into it, but you will not be able to save it. Okay?
Yes. All
right. So now if that file that we created, if you want to see the content of that file again, to see the content is CAT, and then what was the file that we did? Let me see. What is ls? How many files? Okay, so we say CAT, and then you say demo, right? So you see now we have two things. So before, this was the only thing that was there. This line was there. Now we added this other line. For today's class, we will be doing some demos on LambStack and Apache Maven on Amazon Linux too. So that was all we are. So this is how you can read the content of the file. This is how you can edit file, okay?
Okay, yeah. Seen it.
Yeah. So this is really fun. Linux is fun, you know. So we already did this mkdir. So that's make directory, right?
Yes.
So if to make a directory, we already know how to make a directory. So how to create it, a file. To create a file is different than making a directory. So to create a file, let's say inside here, we want to create, we already have one file here. So if I do ls again, we already have demo. So let's say we want to create another file. So I'm going to create another file. So to create another file like demo, let's say we're going to call this one demo2. So let's say we want to create another file called demo2, right? Then you can do, it's called touch. Touch. Touch and then the name of the file. So demo2. Right? So now if we do ls again, we'll see demo. We see demo and then we'll say demo2. Yep. So if we go inside demo2, there will be nothing. So if we cut
demo2.
So what I told you earlier, so see, if I do my tab, it will say demo. But if I do tab again, so right now it's gonna take me inside that demo without demo one basically. But that's not what I want, so I have to put it 2. And then so you see, there's nothing inside demo 2, so it's not gonna show us anything. It will not show us anything. So let's say, so that actually, this is a good point actually. So now you know how to create a directory, you know how to create a file, you know how to change directory, you know how to make, how to go in, like change the directory, you know how to list the files, you know how to know, like check where your path is. Let's say we want to transfer that content from this demo to demo 2, right? So that takes us to the next command, the CP command. CP means copy. The CP commands copies files or directory. You know,
Okay.
you can copy, you can specify the source and the destination. So whenever you are doing, if you want to copy, you want one, you got to know the source. The source is like where the file that you want to transfer, you want to copy, where is it? You got to know the source. And then the destination is where do you want to copy this file? So let's see, we want to copy the content of demo, and we want to send that content into demo 2. Right now, demo 2 doesn't have anything. So let's do that. So you see CP, and then we tap DE, demo, and then space, and then we say DE again, and then 2. Right, so now if we cut again, so let's do our up arrow key. If we cut demo 2, you see that? That content is inside demo 2 now. Let's see if we cut demo, just demo now. That content, so basically it just don't copy. You see, I'm speaking Creole now. So it just copy the content from demo to demo 2. Right? So that content is both inside demo and demo 2 now. You see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So I hope that explains it. Let's say you want to move, if you want to move it, if you want to move that entire content, let's create another file. So Mercy, walk me through. I want to create another file called demo 3. So what should I do? What's the command?
Touch. Okay, so you're gonna write touch.
Good job. TOUCH, and then
demo 3.
EMO, and then 3, right?
Yes, enter.
Okay, good job, Mercy. So let's say we want to move the content from demo 2 to demo 3. Okay, to do that, we learn the CP command. The CP is like copying the content, right? Yes. Copy. So which means you still have the original copy in the old the destination, the source, but you are copying. Just like when if I highlight everything here, and then I write or I copy, which means this still is going to be there, but I'm still going to copy it on my clipboard, right? But let's say you just want to move the content, the entire content to the other place. So let's try to do that. And to do that is MV. So MV, just like we say CP, MV, and then the source, which means the file that has information that you want to transfer, and then the destination, which means where do you want to send that file. So the same thing also, the CP command, the only thing that we change here, instead of CP, say MV. So let's do that, MV. So let's do our up arrow key. I'm too lazy, so I'm going to do up arrow key. Instead of CP now, we'll come and remove that CP and then just say MV, and then we'll go back and change this. Instead of demo 2, we say demo 3.
Okay.
So we're going to move, let's say we are moving the demo 2 into demo 3. So we hit enter, right? So now let's cut demo 2. Cut the demo 2. So there's nothing in there, right? There's nothing in there. No such file or directory, right? But let's cut demo 3. So you see the content is, we just move that content from demo 2 and demo 3. Let's move it again from demo let's move it from demo to demo 3 to demo 2. Okay, and then let's cut demo 3 again. So you see the same thing. They said no such file or directory. So it's not there. But if we cut demo 2, it's there. Right?
Yeah.
So this is file manipulation. So we are just manipulating the file here. You know. So you've learned CP, how to copy a file. So you've learned so far how to know like where you are. You learn how to see to list down the files that you have. You've learned how to copy a file. You've learned how to make a file. You've learned how to create a file. You've learned how to make a directory.
Directory.
Yes, and you've learned how to create a file. You've also learned how to copy a file, the content of a file to another location, and you've learned how to move a file, how to move the content to another location. Now the next command is rm. Let's say we don't want one of this directory, right? Mm-hmm. We don't want one of those files. Let's say right now we don't have anything on. Okay, so let me clear. So always make sure you clear to. So let's say right now we have something on demo 2, but let's say we don't want demo 3 again, right? Demo 3, because demo 3 doesn't have anything right now, right? So let's say we don't want that file. So you can remove that file, right? So the rm command, you use the rm command. The rm command remove file or directory. So we can do the rm. So you can say rm and then the name of the directory. So you can say demo 3, right? So it's not going to be there. So let's say demo rm. Let's say we want to remove demo 2 or demo 1. Just demo. Oh, okay. Yeah, demo, just demo. So you see, so demo has been removed now. So if we do ls, we only have demo 1. I mean demo 2. Both demo 3 and demo are gone. Right?
Yes.
So that's how you remove a file. So we already talked about touch. Touch is to view the content or to view the content of a file or to display the content on your screen. So again, I told you about nano. So you see, this is another option. So again, we can say nano. So if you want the same thing that we do like with VI, so you can say NANO, nano, DEMO 2. So you see, it takes you to that same text editor that you saw earlier, only that this is different. So the reason, so here, it gives you all the command. G for help, X for execute, W for write out, R for read file. So you see, it explains to you what it means, you know. And then where is, so this one will show you the location of the file if you want to replace it. So it gives you like, so nano gives you more in-depth, you know, what to do, right? So if I want to exit this, I have to do Shift X. Well, not Shift X. So this is the reason why I don't like this, because like yeah, this is why I don't like so I think is Z. And then so I just click on Control X, and now I have to do Control. So if you want to exit, you say yes. So that you don't type the word yes, you just say Y. If you say no, so for example, if I say no, so you see, I'm not saving it. I didn't save it. So it was asking me, do you want to save it? I said no. So that's nano. I like VI. Okay. So you also have the DF. So I went over this the last time. The DF, most of these commands I've actually talked about them. So the DF command show disk space. So if you want to see like the space that you have on your the Linux, so if you say df-h, df-h, it tells you like the disk space, the space for you that you have that are mounted on all the file system. So you see, I have all the space. So it gives you this information. So if they ask you, they say we want to see the disk space that we have in the file system that it's on this particular server. This is how you do it. So it's the df. It's a very useful command. And then if you want to know like the free space, how many free space do I have? So again, you type free and then -h. So you see, it tells you the free space that you have. So the total, the use, again, let me start from here. So when you do the df-h to know the disk, the space that you have, I mean to show you the space usage. So you see, it shows you the size. This column is the size, the first column. The first column actually is the file, the name of the file. So you have root fs, none, and then I have the C drive, D drive, and then E drive. And then it shows the size for each drive, and then how many is used, how many space is available, how many percentage have I used, and what the mounting point. So that's what. So you see, this one is dev run. Yeah, so it just give you that. And then when we do the free, to know this free space, it gives you a total of space that you have. It gives you the ones that are in use, and then the free ones, and then which one are you sharing, right? And all that, and then the cache or the buffer, and then how many is available. So that's the free. That's how this is a command to check your free space, and then this is a command to check your disk space. And then the other command is, let's say, let me clear again. The other command is, let's say you want to see the connectivity of if this server is working. Let's say sometimes it's just giving you don't know if this server is working. You don't know the network connectivity, whether it's connected or not. You want to troubleshoot. So a big command that you can use is say ping. So if you say ping, P-I-N-G, let's say, for example, we want to ping my website, say cloud skills gateway.com. So if you do that and then you hit enter, it's gonna send a ping request. So when you see it's like this, when you see it going like this, which means there's a connection, which means my website is up and running, which means this server is able to access to check my server is up and running. So it's giving you a byte. To stop it from going, just hold Control C, right? So if you want to stop it from going, it will keep going. So you just do Control C, I think, or Control Z. So let's say you want to ping. You can do it for Google also. So if you say PING and then you say GOOGLE, google.com, you see the same result. If Google is not on, if Google is not active, it's not going to show that. So because Google is on, it's live online, that's why you are showing that. So that's ping. So this one helps you to test your network connectivity, which means this Ubuntu server is actually able to make connection to the internet. To stop that again, I say Control C, try Control Z again. So if you do Control Z, it will still stop the connection. Okay?
Okay.
So let's do this ping this example.com. So example.com is working. So yeah. All right. Let's see what is here again. If config or IP config. So if config, this command display network interface configurations if config is old and may be replaced by ipconfig. So if you type if config ifconfig. So if config, say if config is not found but can be installed with sudo apt install. So it's not installed on this server. So you have to install it. So it's telling you that you can install it. So let's see if we can install it. sudo. So let's just do what it asks in sudo apt install install ifco and fig, and then so remember your password, you will not see your password. Unable to locate package. So it says unable to locate package. That's fine. I'm not gonna use it anyway. So the if config is old. So let's do the IPA. So you see, so this one, yeah, this one also, it just give you like it didn't give us what we want. Yeah, but this one, so again, if you open your for example, if I open my Windows terminal, if I do CMD on my Windows terminal, and then I run it as an administrator, I'll show you that really quick. So this is my Windows terminal here. So if I say IP for config, IPconfig, so the IP config will give you the network interface. So this is for my system. This is outside of my outside of this my Ubuntu. So this is my actual computer. So this one, if you want to know like your network, like your network configurations and everything, if you want to know like your IP address, your modem IP address, you do this if config. So let's do the if config here. IP instead of. So IP and then CONFIG. Yeah, so we'll have to install it. Well, I'm not gonna do it. So wget. So wget, we are gonna see this when we are doing the project. So this one I'm not gonna do it. So, but the wget is a package manager, helps you to download package files from the internet. So wget. So you put the wget, and then you put the link to the package that you want to download. We'll see that when we start to seeing what is it, when we are doing the project, you will see this because we are going to download stuff. Yeah, so again, and then apt-get. This is for Debian or Ubuntu. This command manages packages in Debian. So whenever you say this app, so if you are doing Linux, like we'll do Linux, so we are going to do Ubuntu. One of the demo is going to be a Linux server, and then the other one is going to Amazon Linux, and then the other one is going to be Ubuntu. So if you are doing for Ubuntu like this ones, where you do like apt-get. When we do the Amazon Linux too, you do Yum. So those are package managers. So this is package manager for Debian, and that's means Ubuntu also. And then you have Yum. So that's what I was just saying here. Yum, you can say Yum install, Yum install, something like that. This is a package manager for CentOS. CentOS is, again, I explained this last time, is one of the distributions for Linux distribution, and then Fedora. So CentOS, Fedora, Ubuntu, Debian, which is Red Hat, and those are all Linux flavors. They are different distributions of Linux. They are all Linux, just different distributions. So for CentOS and Fedora, or even Amazon Linux too, you use, instead of using apt, you use yum, because that's the package manager they use. So you can say sudo yum and then the name of the sudo yum install and then the package name. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at some of these options. So some of these options. So options are really important to know about. So let's look at these ones. So for example, if you say -v, sudo -v, so these options are more for sudo. So whenever you use sudo, so for example, if we say sudo -v, sudo sudo -v, it gives you the version of this, so option causes sudo to print the version number on and exit. So it's supposed to print the version number and exit, but it didn't do that for me. I don't know why. I think that's uppercase V. Let me see. Just copy it from here. Okay, so it's uppercase. So again, guys, you got to remember, Linux is very case sensitive. So you see, when I did the sudo -v, this first one, so when I did the first one, it just exits. It didn't give me an error. It just said, it didn't give me anything, no output. But when I did the uppercase -v, this is what it's supposed to give you the version. So you see the version 1.9.15p5. And then sudoers policy plugins version 1. So it gives you the version of the command, the version of the thing that you are using. If you do sudo -l, what does that do? It prints out the commands allow and forbidden. So if you want to know, like, the user, so I'm logging as DTech. DTech, I have full permission. Remember, we saw that last time, right? I have R, W, and then X, so which is full permission. So it says here I have full permission, which means I can do anything because I'm the super user here. I'm the owner, right? But let's say you don't have full permission. So you can use this to check what are you allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do. So that's what this sudo -l means. So the sudo -l means will tell you that what and what you can do. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then the sudo -h, the lowercase h, sudo -h. So the option causes sudo to print a usage message and exit. So this is the message that it just printed out when I did the sudo -h. So it gives you all these things and then it exits out. And it also gives you like options, different options. Okay, so I'm gonna clear that. And then you have sudo -v. If given the -v, validate. So this will just validate. So when you say sudo, again, I explained it, sudo just means super user do, sudo -v. You see, it just validates and then it exits. That's what the -v. If you do uppercase V, then it gives you the version. So just take note of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So sudo -k, a kill, this is the kill option. So which means that invalidate the user's timestamp. So the next time sudo is run, the password will be required. So for example, if we do -k, so let's say sudo -k. So basically it's the timestamp that I have, it's invalidating me right now. So if I try to run other command, so you see this one is uppercase K, and then the other one is lowercase k. Let's do this uppercase K again. So this uppercase K is similar to the lowercase k. Option is used to remove the user's timestamp. So if I want to remove that timestamp, but before I do that, let's run one command. Let's say the dash. Let's do this one. It should ask me for password because the timestamp. So you see, it asked me for password because we did this -k, lowercase k, which means it's as if I've logged in. So now I want me to log out again. So let's say if you are going for lunch, don't leave your computer on. But if you are, let's say if you leave, sorry, I gotta stretch. So best practice, if you are going for lunch, let's say, again, best practice, don't leave your system on. But let's say if you are in the habit of like doing this command, so you can just say sudo -k and then leave it on. So if someone tries to come and get into it, it will ask them for the password because the timestamp has been invalidated. So which means they will not be able to get into it until you know your own password. So I know my password, so I will just come and put in my password. And remember, you will not see the password, it will not display. Okay. And then you have this this sudo, we already talked about that one, sudo -b. And so this one will just tell sudo to run the given command. So you can do that. I'm not going to run this one because I don't want anything to run in the background. But if you want it to run in the background, you can just say sudo -b and then the command, the name of the command that you want to run in the background. And then sudo -p, the sudo -p prompt command allow you to customize password prompt that sudo display when it requests the user's password. By default, sudo will display a generic password prompt that looks like, so this one, sudo -p, enter your password. So these are all, I'm not going to put in these commands, but this, you can go over them. Okay, so they just did it and did the screenshots. Environment variables, so you have the environment edit or editor, default editor to use in -e, and then home in -s or -h. So these are just environment variables. Okay, let's see. I want us to do something with like creating. We already did creating users or so. Let's look at file permission. Let me go back here. Mercy, do you have any questions so far?
Yes, my question is, I was kind of stuck where this nano is. When you type the nano, it takes you to
The text editor, right?
Yes. So how to leave that text editor? So I said escape. It took
Okay,
me.
you don't do escape with nano.
Okay.
Can you share your screen?
Okay.
Hold on, let me stop sharing.
No, stop, because I'm doing it on another laptop. Okay, so one moment. So I would like to come on now with the laptop then. Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so let me check my screen. Can I see my screen?
Yeah, so you want to get out of this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so with this one, you don't do escape, because you do escape on VI. Okay, so you see this one, it's telling you, it's giving you options here. Can you scroll down a little bit? I'm not seeing all the full. Go. I want to see. They give you a lot of options. Go back. Go all the way down.
Okay.
So you see, it gives you options like X, exit, or help, and then it say V, next page. So you just have to click on Control X, make the X uppercase, and then do Control X.
Control X.
Yeah. Or Command X for you. You are using my
Control X.
So now hold on this page. So this page is what you need to read, right? So
Yes.
it gives a different option here. If you do uppercase G, then you are asking for help. If you do uppercase X, then you are asking for exit. You want to exit. You know, and then if you do O, then you want to write out. If you do uppercase J, so you get it's case sensitive. Read is out, W is right. So it gives you all that option. So try if you want to exit, try X, uppercase X, make it capital X.
Okay.
Oh, not there. So remove that X. Just do shift, I think shift X.
Shift. Yes, that's what it's
okay, so remove that shift, not shift, Control or Command X.
Okay, Control X.
Now you see it's asking you. So remember, for Nano, it's Control or Command. Control on Windows, Command on Mac OS, right? So now, whenever you do that Control X, it's gonna give you a page like this. Now it's asking you, save modified. So if you want to save that, then you can do Control Y. I mean, you can just hit just do Y. Or if you don't want to save it, just do N. But remember, it has to be uppercase. So do N, uppercase N. Just do uppercase N, which is no, on your keyboard.
Yeah. See what is? Did you see my screen? There's another screen that show up.
Oh no, I didn't see. What show up? I'm still seeing this other screen that says why, no.
Okay, so when I say N, okay, because maybe I didn't share the whole thing. Let me share.
So Mark, it's yeah, I'm only seeing the other one. Can you click where that question mark is and then okay. Yeah, what came up?
Did you see this one?
Yeah.
Yes, so when I said Command N, this one show up.
Okay, so it's took you do LS on that one where you are. Yeah, do LS. Okay, so it took you back to the terminal. So you're out of the terminal. You're out of that.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. So remember to exit, just do Command X. It has to be uppercase X, and then it will take you to that page where it will ask you yes or no. And then if you say yes, it's gonna save the file. If you say no, it's gonna just quit and bring you to this page. Okay.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, so that's Nano. So try both. Try to get familiar with both. You know, so try to get familiar with both, but then have your favorite.
Okay. So
know how both works, Nano and VI. There are other text editors like Sublime. There are a lot of text editors, but these are by far Nano and Vim. Vim especially is by far one of the most widely used. All right, so you can stop sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so we're going to let's look at the file management really quick. File management. We've talked about most of this. Yeah. So sometimes, like if you, sometimes it's not gonna, for you to remove a file, you have to put -F or -R for recursive. Sometimes it will not allow you because if you have content in there, you have to forcefully remove the file. So if you do that, RM and then the file, and then it's not removing, so you have to forcefully remove it. But let me see. File
You're
management.
not sharing your screen.
Nope, I'm not sharing yet.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. Um, I'm looking for the next. We have about 10 minutes before we take break. Okay. System. Let me go back to the classroom.
Right, take care.
Huh?
You eat onions with
Huh? Just give me a minute. Okay, so let's do, I'm gonna share my screen again. Okay, so I'm gonna bring.
Did you resume recording?
I think the recording was still on.
Okay.
Yeah, the recording is still on. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna look at, I'm trying to get the user management. I want to pull it on this side. Okay, so yeah, so you can see all these links. These are all links that you can follow, guys. So I want user management in Linux. So let's do this one. Use the ID command. Using the ID command, you can get the ID of any user. So if you want to get the ID of any user, then you can use the ID command. Sudo user add username, the sudo user add a user. So, okay, so this is what I want us to do. Let's do this. How you can, because the assignments that you guys have, you are gonna be creating users. So let's go over these commands really quick. So the first one we are gonna do is let's add a user. So add a user to your system. Right now, it's only me, DTech. That's just me. So let's go back. Before we do that, how do you get out of, like right now we are DTech and then project. We're inside our project. But how do I get out of this project, right? So again, if we do pwd and then enter, it shows us the directory, the path where we are. How do we get out of this? So to get out of where you are, you just say cd and then ... So you see, now we are outside of this project directory. We are just inside DTech, right? If we want to create a user, because we have full permission, we can create a user. So to create a user, just say, hold on. Let's say user, so you type add user, add user, and then let's say you got the username, the person that you want to enter. Let's say I want to add MELCY. So only root may add a user or group to a system. So you see, it's not allowing me. So I have to type sudo. So for you to be able to add that user, you have to have, because I'm just a user here, right? So it's saying that only administrator, only a root user can add another user. Yeah, so to change that, just say sudo and then enter. So it's asking me for password. Again, when we talk about security, this is really, really important for security. So it gives an error. Please enter a username. Oh, okay. Enter a username matching the regular expression and configuration via. So I spell mercy with uppercase. The user allow bad names options to relax this check or reconfigure, blah, blah, blah. So again, let's try that one. Remove, do up lowercase. And then, so it has added your name. So remember, it's not, it won't accept if you put like uppercase. So you see the information for this user. So the user ID, it's created a user ID, they call it UID, and then it created a group ID, GID, right? So these are the things that you are seeing here, you know, and then it added this user automatically when you create this user, Mercy, it's adding you, this is a, it's adding you to this group ID here, and then new user, Mercy. So have your group ID with group ID. So this is your group ID. And then you are going to be inside this directory. So now it wants us to create a password. So I'm just going to say, and then it will ask you to retype the password again. Enter the new value or press enter for the default. Password updated successfully, changing the user information for Mercy, enter new value. So again, if you want to change if you want to change any of the things, let's say you don't want that name, you want to change anything, that you can do that here, or you just hit enter. So these are all information that we can enter if we want. You know, for example, we can enter the full name, we can enter the room number, where if we're in a building, if we can enter their phone number, we can their work number, their home number, and any other information. Is the information correct? And then if it is true, you say yes. Yeah, so it has added this user now, right? So again, so if we do ID and then MERCY. So you can see it gives us a lot of information here. So you have our UID. So this is your UID. So no two people can have the same UID, user ID. So this user I created, Mercy, this is your user ID. And then your group ID, this is your group ID right here. So GID. So UID means user ID, what you see here for Mercy. And then this is the group ID for Mercy. And then again, just repeat that group ID again, something like that. So again, this is a command, you use this command. So make sure you use the sudo command.
Okay.
And then to set a password, you can set a password using password commands to assign a password to a user. After using this command, we have to enter the new password for the user, and then the password gets updated to the new password. So if you want to change the password for this user, then you can do this password, PASSWD, not like password, WARD, it's PASSWD, and then the username. So they give you example here. Sudo password, gigs, and then so the gigs here, so like this one here, the gigs, that one is the username. So they are setting the password or changing the password for that user. Access a user information. So if we want to access the user information, then we say cat etcd. So we are going to do that here. Let me clear first. So if we say CAT and then /etc /PASSWD. So you see, so this will give you information for all the users on this system. So I have Mercy here, and then I have me here, Daniel. I have DTech here. So I created this user, Daniel. I created these users way back. I mean, a couple days ago. I was just practicing, but it gives you the system. So there are different type of users. You have system users, you know, different type of users here. So you can see a lot of users. Some of them you don't create them. they are there by default. All right, so let's take a break. It's 6:33. So let's come back at 45, 46, 48. Or let's come back like at 6:50. Okay?
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so you do this again. I'm gonna do that command again. So when we did this, it gave us like this bunch of like, there are users that we didn't create. They are core system users. They are by default, they are in there. So it gave us like sys, like you see this one, sysadmin, Bain, Damian, root. The only users I created on this one is Daniel, Mercy, DTech, but everything else comes by default. So these are all bunch of information. Sometimes it's going to be really hard to read through this everything. Let's say you just want a list of the users. So to clear that, so if you want you want to know like the username, the users, the information about the user ID, so this is a user ID for this Mercy. So if you want to, so you give it a user ID and it tells you which direction they belong to. So this one belongs to home and MRC and then bin and then bash. The same thing for Daniel. But if you don't want all this information, you just want to name the list of users. So let me clear. Again, I pasted this. This is on this particular one is on, again, it's on the classroom. So you just do cut. So the cut command lets you extract the specific text or field from text file. So if you do that, you do that. So you see, it just lists them down. It put them in a list form. So as opposed to the other one that we did earlier, I gave a bunch of information. So this one is very simple. It just lists them out. You can do another command. It's called comping. It also does the same thing. So this command, so it does the same thing also. It just lists them down. Okay, so that's how you can know the users on your system. You can list them down. Okay. All right, I'm just checking here. So we are going to look at this document, this one first. So there are a bunch of things here I will encourage you to go over. I'm not going to go over each and every one of them. Like you can set alias, you can set max, apply. You can do a lot of things here. We'll talk about apt-get, aptitude. We didn't talk about that. You read about this once again. This is a beginner class. This is an introductory class. So, but the thing I want us to see, I just want us to look at some. So we'll talk about the cat, we'll talk about the court, talk about CD. So it's change. We want to see like the change mode. How do you change the user mode? So we're going to look at that. Let me see here. Yeah, so there are a bunch of commands here. You can just go through them. These are all commands. The ones in the green, kill, mount, net start. So this one also is a very useful command. Net start display various network related information. So if you do net start, NET STAT. So it's not installed. You gotta install it. You gotta install it. So I'm not gonna install it, but you gotta install. You just do the sudo. It tells you what to do. So it gives you this. So I'm not gonna install it. Yeah, I'm not going to install it, but you can install that NetStart if you want. And then the other one is Nest Lookup. So the NetStart displays various network related information such as network connection, routing table, interface statistics, masquerade connection, multicast membership. So it gives you a lot of information. But when you do the Nest lookup, these are really useful commands for troubleshooting, for if something is wrong with your system, you want to troubleshoot. So the Nest lookup is, you can do this command also, this NetStart, even on your Windows. Let's say if I pull up CMD, and you can run it also on your Mac as well. Let me see. So if I do CMD, it should work. NETSTAT. So you see, it gave me a lot of information about my network connectivity. So it's a bunch of TCP connections. Give me a lot of information. So the NetStart is really good, like to troubleshoot. So it gives you a look at area network, the foreign address, and then the status. So it tells you like right here, established shelled. So it just telling me time waiting, time now. So it gives you a lot of information. So NetStart is a utility tool. It's really good. It helps you like know like what is happening in your system. So you can do Control Z, you can do Control C to end that. So if we do NS lookup, LOOKUP. So you see the NS lookup tells me my address. It tells me, my address. So, but these are utilities. They are very handy tools to have. And then you can look at the password and yeah. We already talk about the RM and RMDIR. So again, use the RMDIR to remove empty directory from the file. So if you want to remove empty directory, then use RMDIR. So RMDIR, so that's the command to remove empty directory. RM mod, you use this to remove modules from the kernel. Of course, you have SSH to establish the connection. So if you say so they have this one, we'll talk about the widget. What is, if you say what is used to get a non-line manual page description. So what is, you just type what is. So you say what is what. So you see the Linux is saying what is what. So you say what is ls list directory. So you see if you don't know what it is, say what is let's do what is pwd present print name of current working directory. So if you say what is cd, nothing appropriate. So if you say, so yeah, so if this what is just gives you like, it defines some basic things for you. And then you can say which. Yeah, so the which used to locate the executable file associated with the given command. So let's say which de mo. Yeah, so And then you have while, so while loop, who am I? So the who am I will tell you, say if you say who am I, WHOAMI, who am I? So you see, whom am I? DTech. So it tell you DTech who is using the thing. Okay, so let's see this other one here. So this one is file permission. So the other thing, because the assignments you guys are going to be doing, the assignments about file permission. So set permission. So file permissions in Linux, file permissions are rules that determines who access, modify, or execute file and directories. So Linux is one of the best secure environments. It's very, it's very, very strong deal on like security. So, and that security really, one of them is one big aspect of security is the file permission. Who gets to do what? We already talked about this read, write, and execute. We already talked about that, so I'm not going to go over that again. But what I want you to understand also is the operators. So they are operators. In programming language, they are operators. In Linux, also they are operators. So whenever you see the T, means you are adding permission. When you see the minus, you are removing permission. When you see the equals, you are setting permissions to the specified value. So remember these three things. You see plus, you are going to add. You see minus, you are taking something. You see equals, you are setting permissions. Again, we already talked about this ownership. You have the owner, you have the group, and then you have all users. So this all users is using the order. So that's what you see here. You have the order, you have the group, you have the user. So just remember that. The trusty command. Here is a command to execute it within the terminal. Let's show you with an example. Input. We are taking 9x as a default file name. So let's run this command. Let's see what it does. Yeah, so we don't have it on our system. So we have to create this file. The file has to be exit. So we don't have that file, so it's not going to do anything. The naming command is used to check the file path through layers of folders. So we're not going to over that one. Symbolic notations. Symbolic notations allow you to add, remove, or set permissions for specific users. Let's understand this using different examples. So symbolic notation. So let's go through these symbolic notations and see. So to change file permission in Linux, if you want to give executable permission to the word order for file xyz.txt, you will start by typing chmod0. So if you want to give executable permission, so let's look at what file do we have here. Let's do ls. Okay, so this, we have a directory called, we have 3 directories. Let's say, let's go inside project, cd. Mercy, how do we go inside? I want to change directory to this. I want to go inside project. How do I do that?
You want to go into project?
Yeah, I want to go inside the project directory here. How do I do that?
So you do cd.
Okay, thank you. CD and then?
Project.
Okay, so how do we check the content of this file? How do we know what is inside project?
You do cat.
Okay, so we do ls first, okay?
ls first to list, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so we want to know like what are some of the things. So now we have demo 2, and then now we can do cat, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So it's right there. Okay, let's clear. The file that we have, it's not a .txt file. So let's create another file called, let's say TOUCH, touch, and then let's call it TEST, test.txt. So which means it's a text file. Okay. And then if we do ls, we have demo, and then we have test.txt. Now let's say we want to let's see if we want to give executable permission to every order for this file, right? So we'll say we can do the chmod. So you can just type chmod, chmod. So that just means change mode, and then you put O. O mean orders, right? So try chmod -- for more information. So the O, so we have to put the plus because we are adding, right? We are adding. So try chmod. Okay, let's do chmod -help. So when you do the help always give you a lot of like things that you can use. So yeah, so to change the mode, that's what you CLE. That's how it's the chmod command. So for example, let's say we already have a text file, right? So we can say chmod, and then plus X, which means we are giving us executable permission. So the 0, the O is for orders, and then we are saying, hey, we want to give executable permission to orders. So that's the plus. Remember, we talk about that operators. Okay, and then now we have to specify which file. So we say text.txt. So now we have this. You see, it has an executable permission for this particular one. So we can execute this text if it was a text that we're going to run. We're not going to run it, but right now it has executable permission. So if we do ls-al, you see txt. So you see how it's green, right? You see how it's green? So now you see, me, the user, I only have read, write, but I don't have executable permission. The group cannot read, cannot write, but the group cannot write, they cannot read. So this is me. I can read, I can write, but I cannot execute. And then this is the group. The group can read, but they cannot write, they cannot execute. And everybody else can read, they cannot write, but they can execute. So that's what we're seeing here. So let's create another file. Let's create another file again, txt2. Let's say touch, touch test2.txt. So now let's do our ls again. Let's do the ls. So you see the difference here. The one that has the executable permission is different. You see the color is different, it's green. And then this one that we just created, this test2.txt, it doesn't have any executable permission. So you see how the color, so take note of this color coding. You see that, right? Even this demo. Now, if we want to make them, we want to execute them. So, but before we do that, let's see so we've done this one. Again, if you want to, so for this one, this text.txt, you see, I don't have executable permission, right? So you can change that. So again, if you go up here where we started, the U is for user. So we can change that. So we can come back here and say, we can come back here and say, we can change that. We can change this instead of user, instead of others, we can say you, which means the user, and then we hit enter. Now, if we do so remember here, this permission for this particular here, I don't have executable permission. You see dash. Anytime you see dash, which means there's no command is there. So for example, you see here, there are 2 dash here, which means there's no read, no executable. Now, before we did this, I don't have any executable permission here. When we do our ls now, it's going to be different. So let's see, ls. So now if you take a look at this particular file, you see I have executable permission, right? Because we added that executable permission. So RWX. When you look at it before, it was RW no X, right? So you see that? You can do the same thing for if you want the group to be able to have executable permission, you can do the same thing. So you can do again chmod. I'm going over this because this is one of the things that you guys are going to do in the assignment. So chmod, you can go, instead of U, you can say G. You remove the U and put the G, right? And then hit hit enter. Now, again, if you look at here, this particular file, I'm working on this particular file here. So if you look at here, the group can read, but they cannot. The group can read. Oh, that's not the group. This is others. The ending is others. So the group can read. The group cannot even. Yeah, the group can read, but they cannot execute, and they cannot write, and they cannot execute. But now that has changed because we have given them executable permission right here with this command. So if we go back and take a look, you will now see that it has changed. Now they can execute. You see that? Now they can execute. Like that. Right? Okay. Mercy, are you getting it?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how you pass on the permission. But you can also do it this way. You can also do, I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to clear. So this one, we are going to pass it on to this other TXT here, the TXT2, okay? We are going to give the TXT2, we are going to give full permission. So look at this command. This command is saying that, hey, I want you to change mode, and I want you to apply this to users, to group, and others. So basically, we are giving full permission. This is going to be like a 777. So we say TXT, let's change that to TEST2. So if we do ls -al, so now you see, oh, so we took away the permission instead of, so you see, we took away the permission. We took away permission from all. So this particular test, the user don't have any permission, the group don't have any permission, and others don't have any permission. So that's what we see here when we put the operator minus. The operator minus, that's what the minus, it takes away the permission. So that's what you are seeing, dash, dash, dash. No, not the first dash. The first dash indicates that it's a file. It's not a directory. If you see here, this is showing that this is a directory because it has a D in front. But now if you go to the second one, the user don't have any permission, the group don't have any permission, and everybody else, others don't have any permission. So the U, the G, and then the O don't have any permission. Let's see if we can change that. Or let's create another file. Let's create another file, touch, touch, test 3.txt. Now let's give this touch file, let's give it full permission. So let's go back to that permission, this one, let's give it full permission, test3, and then we'll come here, we change this, instead of minus, we'll put a plus. That's not a plus, that's equals, that's underscore. So we'll put a plus. So again, we are saying read, write, execute. So let's see this. So now if we do ls, so remember that's text3. If we do ls dash al, now you see that this text3 has it has 777. So the user has read, write, and execute. The group has read, write, and execute, and then everybody else, others, have read, write, and execute permission. So this is how you give full permission. You don't want to do this. This is unless you are sure that, okay, this user, myself, I need to have full permission for this file, then you can do this. But you don't want to do this for security reasons, because then this person can do this, the group and the users, they can do anything to this file. So we have 3 files here. We have txt1 that has wherein the user has full permission, but then the group has executable. They don't have read permission, where they have read permission, but they don't have write permission, but they have executable permission. The same thing for the others. And then we have other files that do not have any permission at all. This one. And then we have another file that has full permission for all entities. Okay. Again,
So,
we already
can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
Okay, so this permission we are giving, can we refer this one to when we are doing IAM?
IAM. So it's
Yes,
kind
when
of
we give permission, we deny permission. Does this one have to?
So it's kind of similar, but this one is in Linux. It's kind of similar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. It's just like what the user can do to this file.
Okay. Okay.
That the users can do to this file. So it's kind of the same thing. You are restricting and you are giving permission.
Okay. All right. So this is in Linux form. The other one was in AWS form. Yeah,
AWS form.
Okay.
Yeah. But this one is on the Linux system. So the IAM is for the global. It's for global, you know. So you actually have like people, like you hire someone, you put them. But this one is for this Linux specific, you know. So it's not going to apply to other Linux, right?
Okay.
So, but the IAM user, once you give the user that permission, they can use that permission to for other, like to do a lot of things on the account, depending on the permission that you give them. So they have this other one, so I'm not going to go through everything. So you guys can go over here, but they have this chmod user group and then plus. So this one is just adding read and writes to this user and the group. And then it's taking away permission from the other. So that's why it's a minus. So you can do them both. You can put it together here. So this one assigns read, write, read and execute permission to both users and group, and add read permission to others. So that's what you are seeing here. So you have users and group here. So when you say UG, it means user and group. So when you see the equals, I explained the plus mean you are adding, the minus mean you are removing, the equals mean you are assigning. So in programming, you have what we call assignment. When you see the equals, so you have assignment and then you have comparison. In mathematics, when you say 2 plus 2, we say equals, that will give you all the answer. But in this case here, we are just assigning. We are not like giving the output. We are just assigning. So we are assigning to the user and the group read and execute permission. And then we are assigning to the other, we are assigning just a read permission for that specific file. It's not for the entire system. So just remember that. You can also do numerical value. If you don't want to do the RWX, you can do this numerical value. So remember, read is always 4. Read is always 4. Write is 2. And then execute is 1. So when you add this together, it should sum up to 7. So 4 plus 2, that's 6. And then 6 plus 1 is 7. So you can do that as well. So like what you see here, so instead of putting X here, so you can put here 1, because 1 is execute. So instead of putting X, X is execute. So instead of putting X, you can put 1. So if you are doing write, instead of putting W, you can put 2. You can put 4 for read. Okay. All right. So there are a lot of examples here that you can go over. So go over them. Yeah, go over them. And then really quick here, this is oh, I think we already talked about this one. Yeah, we already talked about this. All right. So let's go and create an account. I mean, let's go not create an account. Let's go into my AWS on the console, AWS console. So we're going to log in. We're going to create a Ubuntu. We're going to create two instances, one for Ubuntu and then one Linux, Amazon Linux 2 AMI. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully we have enough time to do the two. If we don't have time, I will leave the one demo for you guys to do as a project. Again, from here, I'm not gonna do a lot of explanations. By this time, you guys should know now how to create an EC2 instance. So we're gonna create a Ubuntu EC2 instance for the LAMP stack, and then the Linux AMI. Let's do the Ubuntu first. Let's do it one by one. So instance, and then let's just call this LAMP. So the LAMP is just stand for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. It's one of the widely used projects that people use. So we are using Ubuntu for this particular one. The operating system that we are using is Ubuntu. And we're just gonna use the 24, and we're gonna leave it at it. I'm just gonna increase this one to maybe, I'm gonna change that to medium, T2 medium. Yeah, I'm gonna use the T2 medium. Then I'm gonna select my key pair. So make sure you select a valid key pair. If you don't have it, create one. And then I'm gonna change my VPC. I'm gonna use this project VPC. And I'm gonna change the subnet. So you see my subnet by default, it's just taking me to the private subnet. If you put it in the private subnet, you're not going to be able to access it. So make sure it says you use the public subnet. So like this one, I'm going to use this public subnet. It should say public here. If you say private, you're going to have issues. And then make sure it say for me here, it says disabled. So I want to enable this. Otherwise, you will not be able to get this IP address. And if we do everything right, if nothing goes wrong, we should be able to access the application that we are going to install. And then for the key pair, for security group, I'm going to use an existing security group. So I'll just use project SG. Probably will have to modify it at some point. And then I'm just going to leave this. I'm just going to do it 10. And then I'll launch it. So the next thing is I'm gonna open my mobile XTAM. So I've shown you guys how to use Pudding. I've shown you guys how to use mobile XTAM. So I'm gonna use mobile XTAM for this one. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it here. Session. Copy my IP here. Put it there. And then Ubuntu, the username, Ubuntu. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Select this, use private key, and then search for your private key. It will take you to your download folder. And then, so this is what it took me to my download folder here. So you just have to navigate now to where your private key is and then select it. So I have it, this session. I think that's the private key. And then hit OK. And so if everything goes well, you should see we are logged in. Then you can clear. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this screen side by side here, and I'm gonna bring this other screen right here. This is a screen the demo that we're using. So again, like I said, the LAMP stack is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So that's one. Linux server as the operating system provides stability and security. Apache is a web server. So if they ask you in an interview or they ask you for the test, what web servers have you used? You can say, I've used Apache. You know?
Okay. And then please, can you expand? Sorry to cut in, please. Can you expand your screen a bit for us, please? Thank you.
Yes. Is that good? I'll push this a little bit and then drag this. Is that okay? Miss, is this okay?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so Linux, Apache is a web server, and it's responsible for handling HTTP requests. And then MySQL or MariaDB is a database system used for storing application data. And then PHP is a server-side scripting language that enable dynamic content generation. So for prerequisite, if you are going to do this prerequisite, so which means what you need to do before starting this. So you need to have your Ubuntu, just like we are already, your instance up and running. A user with sudo privilege. So which means we gotta let's do sudo su. So that makes me a root user. So that, because that's why it says here a sudo privilege. So now we are a root user. So if you can see here, it says root before it says Ubuntu. So now it's root. So we are good. And then at least the basic Linux command. So that's what we're gonna do now. So this is a diagram. The request is gonna be sent to Linux. And then inside of Linux, it's gonna go to Apache, and then the Apache is gonna go to the database. And then the database is gonna get AWS information, and everything is put there, and then send it back to the user. So that's the response. So you make the request, and then that request is being processed, and then give you the response. Okay, so let's do this. Let's dive into the commands now. So these are the LAMP stack based real-time applications. So these are the real-time applications that you can use this for: live polling system, live chat application, stock market live update, collaborative document editing, real-time notification system, online multiplayer game dashboard, live sports scoreboard. So if you are watching soccer, like Manchester, like Royal Manchester, they are killing us. Manchester, Onana needs to go.
Still alive. Yeah, they are not killing us. It's a matter of time. Let's give them time. And Manchester, let's give them time.
Manchester, man, which kind of time that it's there since Ferguson left.
I know.
That's a different talk. That's why I don't even try to watch them again. Anyway, so everything that you see here, these are like things that you can use this LAMP stack for. So the real world, so if you are thinking about real world, think about like when you are watching your Manchester Poel game, like the scoreboard that you see, they can use LAMP stack, real-time order tracking. So when you do your Amazon, your favorite, you go to your favorite store, e-store, and then you buy something. So that's to track that system. Like they will tell you, oh, your thing will come in 2 business days, or is on the way, or all this thing. So they track that. They use LAMP stack also for that. I mean, they can use other applications, but that's one example. IoT. Have you heard of this word, IoT dashboard? Do you know what it is?
No.
So IoT is just Internet of Things. So this one means Internet of Things.
Yes. I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah. So it could be your microwave, your radio, your fridge, your freezer. So just the basic amenities that you have that are that are using like either energy. So like your freezer, your electric cooker, your stove, all those things. Those are all IoT because they all have operating system. So your freezer has an operating system, your microwave has an operating system. It built on something, right? So those are called IoT, Internet of Things. Okay, so the first thing whenever you do something, whenever you get into your server, the first thing that you need to do, you need to update that server. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to copy this command because I'm too lazy to type it. So I'm going to paste it there. And then hit enter. It's going to update your system for you. So basically, that's just going to try to make sure that it gets the latest packages, Now, if this was Ubuntu, if this was Linux, Amazon Linux, because we are using Ubuntu. If this was Amazon Linux, then you, instead of using apt, you say yum. So that was what I was explaining. Okay, so our system has been updated. Let's clear. And then let's install Apache. So that's how you install Apache with that command. So you say sudo apt install Apache 2-y. So the -y is just saying yes, because if you don't say yes, at the end of the day, it's gonna ask you, do you want to do this? So we don't want it to ask for that question. It's gonna understand, okay, you already say yes. And then after that, we have to restart Apache. So to restart any server, you're gonna put systemctl start Apache. If it is mobile extern, it says systemctl start mobile extern. If it is gonna be Jenkins, it says systemctl start Jenkins. You can say restart Jenkins, or you can say stop Jenkins. If they actually want you to go stop Jenkins, all you need to do is systemctl stop, and then the name of the application. Okay, so it looks like Apache has been installed. So now we gotta start it. Let's clear again. So Apache has been started. Let's enable Apache. So again, to enable Apache, just say systems sudo systemctl enable Apache. So Apache has been enabled. And then let's check the status. So to know if it is actually up and running, you do sudo systemctl status Apache 2. So now, if it is enabled, if it is good, you'll see here active and running. You always want to look for this green light. If something went wrong, it will be red. Okay. And then on this terminal, you gotta go back to interactive mode. So just do Control-C, and then take you back there. So Apache is up and running. So we are good there. Now, if we go to the browser, we should be able to see Apache. So to go to the browser, let's go check first our let's check our security group. If port 80, I think port 80 is there, but let's just double check. I have a bunch of stuff on this. Yeah, so port 80 is there. So let's get this IP address for this site, and then go there. So you say HTTPS and then public IP. So HTTP, not HTTPS. So let's do so you see, so we have this Apache is being installed. So this is actually because of these processes that we have done. So we are good on this. So that's the screen that we're seeing. That's step 1. We are done with step 1. This is fast. Okay, then step 2. For step 2, we need to install MySQL database. So that database that's where it's gonna hold our information. So remember, we talk about the database here. We say the database is the MySQL or MariaDB is the database system used for storing application data. So that's why we're using MySQL. We want our application data to be stored somewhere. So let's do that. So I really don't like these things here. There you go. Okay, so in this step, we'll install MySQL, secure it, and continue authentication to work with my PHP. So that's what we're going to do. Install MySQL. So let's do it. So copy that command. Again, we are using Ubuntu. So that's the command is sudo apt install MySQL-server-y. So it's going to do that installation. And then the next thing that we'll do while that is going on is we're going to start MySQL. Again, the same thing that we did for Apache, we're going to do it for MySQL as well. Let's just wait for it to finish. Hopefully this doesn't create problem. I think we're only going to be able to do this one. And then the rest, the other one I'm gonna give you guys as a homework. So let's start MySQL. So MySQL has been started. Let's enable it. So it's been enabled. I'm gonna okay. So it's been enabled. Let's check the status of MySQL. MySQL is up and running. Voila. Okay. After installing verifying MySQL server is it is essential to secure the database server by removing unnecessary user, set password policy, and disabling remote root access. So again, your database should be secure. Your database is like, it's going to hold your application data. So you don't just want to leave it unsecure. It's best practice. One, they are telling us, remove unnecessary user. Any user that you are not going to use, remove them. And also, they have like remote login for the root user access. You have to disable that. So on the next step, that's what we're going to do. MySQL provide a built-in script called MySQL_secure_ installation to help with this process. So let's do that. Let's just get this command. So so we are just going to run this command for us. So Linux is all about the commands, right? So we're going to run it. Hopefully it works well. Press Y for yes. So it's giving us validate password component. Can be used to test password and improve security. It checks the strength of password and allow the user to set only those passwords which are secure enough. So these are conditions. They have conditions that you have to follow, just like your job or whatever work that you are doing now. If you are listening to this, when they hire you, in fact, after some organization, 90 days, they will prompt you they will require you to change your password. Also, just like we saw in IAM, when we created IAM, Mercy, you mentioned about IAM earlier. When you create a user, and then you have to enforce that password, say, hey, no, so now when they log in, they have to change their password to a password that they know, because you create a default password for them. So you want to prompt them to change that password. So that's what this is doing right now, So we are going to press Y. We're going to say Y for yes. And then enter 0, low, and then 1, medium, and then 2, strong. Okay, so these are the conditions. Low, so that's 8. And then medium is greater than or equals to 8 or something like that. Numeric, so these are the conditions. Numeric, mixed case, and special character. Strong, 8. It can be equals to or more greater than 8 characters. So this is a default. Many organizations, this is what they use. Your password, a strong password. Again, when we go into security, I'm gonna give you give you guys a fundamental for security. A default by the list, your password has to be 8 characters at least for it to be strong. If your password is 20 characters, then it becomes even stronger. I will show you guys a website when we do the cybersecurity, the introduction to cybersecurity. I will show you a website that can actually, if your password is less than 8 characters, it will tell you how long it will take for a hacker to crack that password. So password, it's really, really important. So this one, let's say, for now, we are just going to press 0, press enter 0 for low, 1 for medium. So let's just say 1. Remove anonymous user, press Yes, we are gonna remove anonymous user. Yes. And then disallow root login remotely. Yes, we are gonna do that. We're gonna disallow that. So we don't want any remote access. Remove test database and access to it. Yes, let's see. Okay, so say yes. Remove anonymous user, disable root user. Yes, remove the test database. Okay. And then remove privilege. We say yes again. So we are saying yes, yes to make this database really secure. Okay, so that has been done. It said by default SQS on Ubuntu does not require a password for the root user. Instead, it uses AUT socket authentication. So that's a form of authentication. What is AUT? So AUT socket allows system users to log in to MySQL without using a password. So as long as you are a system user, MySQL has a way for you to log in without requesting for a password, and that's it's called AUT. Yeah. It checks if the Linux user runs the MySQL command matches the MySQL user. So it will check if you running this command, if it matches the MySQL user. If it's true, then it gives you access. If it is false, then it's gonna reject access. This means that only the root Linux user can log in as the MySQL user. So remember, I'm a root here. So that's why you have to do that sudo su so that you are a root user. Or when you are sending those commands, you do it in a sudo command, okay? All right, so clear. And then change MySQL authentication for PHP compatibility. Log into MySQL. So now we are going to go inside the database. So let's log into the MySQL. And then after the root database user, after the root database user to use a new strong password. Okay, so I enter a password. I'm just going to enter a password. So right now I'm inside MySQL. So you can see how you know you are inside SQL is this, you know. So we are inside MySQL right now. Type help or -h for help, type -c, \c to clear the current input. So let's see. \c. Okay. So we're gonna put this other command now, these commands. So let's put this one here. So we're gonna change this. We're gonna change it, your password. So you should change. You see this area that says so you see identify with MySQL blah 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 by your own password. So we're gonna change this with our own password. Yeah, so let's try to do that. So I would say I will just type a dummy one. So this is just a test password. I'm gonna delete this one anyway. So if you are watching this video and then you want to do something, you're not going to be able to do it. I'm going to error, your password does not satisfy the current password permission. Okay, so we got to do it again. So because we say we want a strong password, that's why it says we got to put something strong. So let's say password at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it has been set. So it's password at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me write this here just so that. Okay. So again, I'm writing this password on the note. That's not best practice. Again, when we talk about the cybersecurity, don't do that. Don't put your password on the. Sometimes you go to people's decks, they have their password, they have things hanging, sticky notes hanging with their password on the thing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Instead, have a password manager and save your password. Again, we'll talk about this when we get into the cybersecurity. So flush the MySQL privileges to table to apply the new changes. So let's flush that. So we've just made some changes. So let's make sure that it's capture everything. Okay, so that has been done. So now, so you can also see from the screenshots here, these screenshots, you can see that. So to get out of MySQL, just type exit, E-X-I-T. So now we are back on our normal regular terminal. So we've finished installing MySQL. We've changed the password. We've secure MySQL. Now the next thing is we have to configure. MySQL database for voting web app on. So that's the application that we're going to do. So that's what we're going to do really. Okay, so let's do the command. So in this step, we'll create MySQL database, define a table for starting vote and inserting initial data. Log into MySQL console again. So we are going to log into MySQL again. And then it's asking me for my password.
The password is asking you, is it the one you just created?
Yes, it should be the one I just created, but I entered the wrong one.
Okay.
Okay. Yep, so it's the one that I just created. Okay, so now we are inside MySQL. Now we are going to start creating table. So again, this is a basic. So to create a table is the keyword. So MySQL, one of the reasons MySQL it's used, that's why it's called simple querying language. That's what SQL means. So just copy this. So this one is going to create a table for us. I wonder if player doesn't work here. So let's do the \C. It's not working. Okay, so we've created a table. Let's select the table. So when you create a table, now we are gonna select this table. So the table is selected. We are gonna create table with name voting with the voting underscore DB table. So this we are gonna create it. So just copy everything here and then paste. So that has been created. We are gonna insert something. We are gonna insert some data in this table. So these are so just copy everything here. This here. So this one is all. It's just like the Excel. When you create Excel, so it's giving us a warning. That's fine. And then now we gotta get out of MySQL again. So exit. And then let's clear our screen.
So the warning it's giving you is for what?
I don't know. It's a duplicate. Duplicate. It said there was a duplicate, but it's fine.
Okay. All right.
It just very sensitive. Okay. So the next step is we are gonna install PHP MyAdmin. So we are gonna install this, and the command for that is this one. So just copy that, and then come here and paste, and then hit enter. So while that is going on, our next one, we are going to verify that PHP is installed. So, and to do that, I just say PHP-V. And the V is lowercase. So PHP is installed. You can see here the version. So built March 19, 2025. So that was last month. And then, yeah, so it gives you the version 8.3.6. Okay, so now we got to test PHP. We're going to test PHP installation on Ubuntu. Create info. So we are going to create this. I'm going to change that nano to VI. So basically just like the things that, so basically everything that we've gone through so far this morning, that's what we are putting into action now, but in a project form. So we are creating a file, but I'm going to use VI instead of nano, VI. And then we are creating a file, and then that file is going to be called /var, and then www.html info.php. So do that, and then remember, how do I write into this file? What's the first command, Mercy? If I want to edit this file, what's the first command?
Insert I.
Okay, good job, good job, good job. You are really smart, Mercy. So we're going to add this to this file. And then after this, what else do I need to do to save this file?
You escape.
Yes, escape. And then?
Shift column.
Yes, and then?
WQ. WQ exclamation mark.
That's good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So now if we go back to that site, if we put our public address, IP address, and then we'll say /info, let's just do this. Let's copy this. If we come back to here, remember we'll have this our site. So if we paste that in here and then hit enter, we'll get this, we'll have our PHP. So we have PHP up and running. So this is the PHP MyAdmin. Okay, but we have not done yet. So the next thing is we have to create the front end code for voting. So basically the app we are creating is just it's voting, right? So we have to create the front end now because this is the back end. This is the back end. It's happening in the back. So we now have to create a front end. To do that, we have to create another file. We have to create a file. Again, let's change that to nano. To VI. If you like VI better, nano better, that's fine. but I like VI. And then this file is just going to contain a HTML and JavaScript code, which is going to allow to display that voting. So that's this. Just copy everything, not like everything, just like here. Copy it. It's going too much, too fast. Okay, make sure it's all selected. We Control C, and then again we do insert, right? So remember, you always gotta do insert, and then this is the code. So this code, I'm not even gonna go too much into this code, but this code is just for every website that you see online. It has a HTML. That HTML is what actually do that display, that front end part, and that's what this is gonna be like. Okay, and then we're gonna save this. WQ exclamation, and then enter. So we already save it, and then we are gonna create another file. Backend code for PHP for voting web app. So we're going to create another file also. Then let's change that again to, let's do nano. I'm going to leave it as nano. And then we'll copy this file. Is that the file? Yes. We copy this, everything in here. Control C, and then paste it here. Yeah, so now we do X, say save modification buffer. We are going to say yes. For Y, and then we enter. Let's cut this file though to make sure. CAT /var /wwh /vp. So let's, okay, so that's what we have, right? I think it's good. I think that's the fire. It does it. Okay. So we're good. All right. So now we have to restart Apache. So let's restart Apache. Okay, so Apache is restarted. And then the step 8 is to test the voting app. So we'll go now to, we are gonna go back to our IP. So we should, I think that will be not the end, but we are close. So go back, you go back to your public IP, and then public IP server, and then /voting. So you just put this. So come back here and just remove that PHP and put this. So there you go. So this is our voting app. This is our voting app. So voting and option. So, okay, so it's working. And then so click on the vote button. The page should update the result automatically in every 2 seconds. So if you click on the vote, what did it say? It say click on the vote button. The page will update the results every 2 seconds, automatically every 2 seconds. So you click on the vote button. So every 2 seconds, it should automatically reset the vote. But we're not taking, yeah. So anyway, so let's see the final. So it should give results. Yeah, so it's not functioning as it's supposed, but we see the thing, it's here. So there is a final one, sudo. So now open MySQL again. So let's do that again. And then, so the password, the password, so we say PASSWORD at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you select your database. And then you use the prompt statement. So it just created you a table. So this is a table, the voting app table. It's voting option A is updated from option B, and then now we can click on vote for option B button and vote for option C button, then verify the option updated account. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so it kind of stick you a little bit, but you guys can see like what we've done so far. So the next one is just like, again, do another select statement for that. So we're gonna end here, guys. So just make sure you exit. So the next assignments that we're gonna do was this one. This one, you install Apache. Again, the instructions are there. So I'm gonna give you guys, this is an assignment. You have 2 assignments for this Linux class. So this one, and then this other one. So the first, I'm gonna put it side by side really quick. So this one is Apache Maven. So this one is Apache Maven. So I want you to work on this. It's simple. You guys have saw like how it's easy. It's just like step-by-step instructions. So just follow the instructions and do this. Do this assignment. So this one is going to help you install Apache Maven on Linux too. So when you are going to AWS, when you go to create the Linux, so make sure you select. If you go to, it say launch instances. So make sure when you are on this page, make sure you select. You select this first one. Just don't even change anything. Just use this first one, this Amazon Linux. That's what you should select. And then you can choose like, just make sure you choose make sure you do the right configurations. So it gives you like a prerequisite. The prerequisite is Amazon Linux 2 and then SSH. So you should be able to SSH into that as a privileged user. So which means you have to be a root user. So you have to switch to be a root user. So, and then you follow just this step. And then this other one, this one will help you to go through the series of like things that we've done so far, like how to create a user, and I put all the commands here for you just so that, I don't want to trick you guys. So you're going to create like this first one, you're going to create users and set their permissions. So you're going to create a group and set permissions. You create primary group of the user 2 and user 3, and then add AWS group as secondary group to user 1. And then you're going to do file and directory structure. So you're going to do this, create a file and directory structure. So you're going to do this, and then change group ownership, change user ownership. Again, I've already discussed all these things. So just go through this. If you go through this particular one, you'll be comfortable with Linux. So we are gonna stop here for today. I gotta go for a trip. But any question, Mercy, before I end? Any question? Since you are the only person here, any question?
Yeah, so I was just following you because I wanted to launch my instance to be able to do what you were doing, but I have to pause because I couldn't keep up the pace with
Yeah,
you.
I was going fast.
Yes, so I had to pause. So my question is, so I'm using Linux, I'm not using mobile S10. Okay. So with that, for the first one you did use Ubuntu to
Yes.
do the first one. So for the so when I'm doing the first one that I'll follow the example you've done. So I'm gonna have to use Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, yes. That first one, the one that we did the MySQL, you have to use the LAMP stack, use Ubuntu.
Okay. Then
And
my
then
next
the next one, use Linux too. So use this Linux, use
the
this one.
Microsoft, the
This
Amazon
one.
Linux.
Yeah,
Okay.
this.
Then my next question is, so when I now went down because I was kind of following you, so you selected the existing security group. So
Yes.
I was thinking, okay, so I had the one I have on mine is default. So my question is, do I need to create a security group?
So you can still leave it as a default security group. The default security group is good, but just make sure if you try to search it online and it doesn't come, go check your security group. So for example, if I come back to instances, so on my instances here, you can see when I select this instance, I go
because you
under
already have
details, you have security, right?
Yes.
And then under this security, you can see I have a lot of port. That's why I use this security group, because I have port 80. So if you don't have port 80, make sure you just go back. So you can go back, you can click on the security group. So when you, again, let me go back. So your instance is running and then you select it. And then from details here, go to security. And then from security, click on the security group ID here. So you can say security group and then click on this ID. And then once it will take you to the security, that particular security group, this page, and you just need to edit the inbound rule, not the outbound rule. Don't touch anything about this, just the inbound rule. Click on
inside
edit
one.
here. Yeah, this one here, this one, inbound rule. Go to the right corner here and then edit inbound rule. And then once you are in this inbound rule, then you can add a rule. You can click on add a rule. And then you can say, if you are adding for HTTP, just say HTTP. It will take port 80. Okay? And for that assignment, not this one. What's the other one? Not that one. So this one you don't need to create. I mean, you can create, you have to create an instance. Just create whether Ubuntu or, or if you have this my default one that I have on my computer, if you were able to do it, then you just use it. Otherwise, just create, you can create a Ubuntu or you can create a Linux for this particular assignment. You don't need a security. Just create, remember the instance that you're going to create, you should be able to SSH into it. So for you to do this, okay?
Yes.
And then for this other one, for this Linux, since you are going to be using Maven, you are going to be open starting port because you are going to want to access. Yeah. Yeah, so just use port 80 because it's Apache, okay? So just use, you can basically use the same security group that you are using for the other one, the port 80.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes, please.
All right. Anything else?
No. Okay, so a quick question. So for me to SSH into my terminal because
Mm-hmm.
from that I have to connect. So I'm a bit confused if I might
Okay.
use that. Yes. So
So yeah, you remember you open your mobile Xterm like this. So let's say if
I
I want
don't use mobile Xterm.
or you are using your Mac terminal.
Yes, please.
Okay, so for Mac, that's a good question. So for Mac, so when you go back to your EC2. So for Mac,
Yes.
it's actually easy. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I can connect the dots now.
yeah, so all you need to do, just got to make sure you are in the directory where your key pair is, right? On your terminal, your Mac terminal, just make sure you CD into like maybe download. I think your key pair should be on your download.
Okay. Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, so
Yeah.
just move into that directory. And then when you click on, just select the instance and then click on connect.
Connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once you click on connect, you can say like SSH. So you see, you can just copy this one.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it tells you
Yes.
here, so you can do this. You can just follow this instruction here.
All right.
Or
All
you
right.
can
Thank
just copy this entire line here, this example here. Okay?
Okay.
But remember,
Yes,
you gotta be in the same directory.
Okay. Okay.
All right. If you have problems, I'm not gonna be available today. Well, actually, my wife is just telling me we gotta go, you know. But just shoot me a text. I will respond when I return back, okay?
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Safe
Yeah, and
trip.
then for this recording, I will not be able to post it until I come back.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Bye. Safe trip, please.
Yeah, thank you.